Thank you for joining JMO. This is your dude, Sincere Brown, with my beautiful co-host, Chicago's own Miss Robin McDonald. Today's episode of JMO is called Saving Our Community. It's something I'm very passionate about. It's about the efforts we can put into making our communities better. My guest today is Shantone Curry, better known as Crown. Crown, tell the people about you.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Shantone Curry, as he already explained, better known as Crown. Um, a little bit about myself and background about myself. I got convicted of actually three armed robberies back in 1998 and was given a 17-year sentence to where I had to serve 15 years of that 17 years, 85%. So in the means of me doing that, when I got there, first thing I did was inquire my GED. In 2005, I went and got my GED, and then I started constructing what I wanted to do when I got home. And kind of like just to speed it up a little bit, I thought about some kind of vehicle I can use to help the youth not go down the road that I went. So that's where Just Move Universal Outreach was born. The conception of that was born in prison. So when I came home, so what you're seeing now in today's time is something that has been thought about over 20 odd years ago. So I was always told, to secure your future, you have to prepare for it today. So that's what I was doing in prison, preparing for the future that you see today. So what we do in society and our community as a whole right now, we have a mentorship program that goes into the Charleston County Juvenile Detention Center once a week. Uh, we feed bi-weekly, so we feed them out of pocket bi-weekly. We also into the school system, the Charleston County school system. We go into Meeting Street at Brentwood and once a week. So we do a conflict resolution there. Um, we also do violent interruption. We go into communities where there's high crime, concentration of high crime, if there's shootings or things of that nature. We campus that community and make sure there's no more violence or any retaliation. Um, and I guess that's it in a nutshell there, bro.
I'm really interested in your mentorship program. How can other people become a part of that?
We have application for mentors, male and female, because what we want to do and what we are striving to do is pair our mentors with our mentees, pardon me, our mentees with two mentors, male and female. So they get that feel of the mother and then that feel of a father figure in that mentor role. So we play a dual role with them. And they can always contact me personally through email, which is justmoveuniversal@gmail.com, or they can contact me personally through my phone number, which is 843-494-4543. Um, Either way, and they can fill out the applications to be mentors.
Okay. What's some programs that you've been working with to kind of just push the improvement in our communities?
Um, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Adopt the Community. Adopt the Community is an organization that consists of many different organizations, over 20 of them, that comes together and we do initiatives. Well, at this point, I have not been active as much because of the juvenile detention center thing. But when we are active, it's going into the community, finding out what the community needs are, and then we build resources around that and help them with those resources. Like you saw me helping Brentwood did the feed. That come out of the a perspective of adopt the community. So we also work with the city of Charleston Police Department, out Charleston Police Department, and their initiative to try to bridge the gap between the community and the police department. And we also teach that segment in what we do as mentors. We teach the rules of engagement when being approached by law enforcement, so that our children are well aware of their rights and what they can do within the realms of their rights. So that don't be violated as well.
Crown, I know activism can be stressful mentally, emotionally, financially. Is there anybody out there that's helping you deal with that stress personally?
As of now, uh, mentally, I have my wife. I have my wife, Talonda Wright, by my side constantly. and that helps mentally relieves a lot of that stress. Physically, I'm kind of physically fit. My work, my job, I do irrigation on a regular. So that's what I do. I'm an irrigation technician. So that keeps me fit. I'm walking constantly. I'm doing things. I'm lifting things. So that keeps me physically fit. Financially, no one at this point in time is helping us financially. We have got our paperwork together to submit grants when the solicitation comes out, but we are not being helped at this point in time financially from no one. We do that out of pocket.
Tell me about a moment or the moment in your life when you decided that this is what you want to do. You want to join activism. When and how did that work? And what were the people who helped you?
The day that I walked through that door in prison and saw that the masses of people that was in prison was youth. They have a thing called a Youthful Offenders Act, and what that means is that anyone under the age of 21 can get that Youthful Offenders Act and go into prison. So when you see it, it's mostly teenagers coming in under that Youthful Offenders Act. I knew something had to change then when you go into prison and you see nothing but children. And as I was, growing myself in prison because I was pretty much a child going in at right at 20 years old and coming out 37, so I learned what I learned in prison. And so that took me on that knowing that I needed to do something. Like, it only going to change if we change it.
Seems like both of our concerns is the kids.
Right.
What do you think we can do as adults, no matter gender, race, we can do to prevent them from falling into the legal system?
um to continue doing what we're doing. The key to that is that ultimately it's still their decision. So all we can do is help shape and mold around that decision making. So if we can teach them to actually make the right decisions, then we have done our job. But until that happens, then no. And I think what causes that is the disconnection between the youth and the elders. That disconnection is based on a respect level as well. The youth don't respect the elders anymore because some of the elders have lost respect for themselves and they're not doing what they're what's supposed to be doing. When we was coming up, we had Miss Anna sitting on the porch watching us go to and fro where we're going, not just because she's nosy, but just because she'll be able to give an account if something happened to us. They can't do that now because the children don't even respect it no more because they don't understand why. And the elders are not taking the time out of their day to respect what's going on with that youth, pull them in, and then give them those hard conversations. So we got to get that connection back again, the respect of elders and youth. I think we play that bridge, so we got to bridge that gap. We got to get with our elders. Hey, yeah, we came up different times, yeah, but it's still the same when dealing with situations. It's the way you handle the situation, So with me, some of my friends, you know, we have a different approach to things, and then we have a different outcome because they're going to approach the situation trying to be these young men friend. I'm not. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm trying to give you what's going to help you secure our future. You're my future. You're not my friend. You ahead of me. So I need to push you ahead of me, not keep you up but below me or where I'm at. I need to push you ahead of me. So that's what I'm striving to do, push them ahead of me. My friends, they want to keep them where they're at or below because they're interests. So we got to understand there's interests. People have their ulterior motives in almost everything that they do in society today. So I see that constantly in what we do. So the answer is we have to get those ulterior motives out the way, and we have to get people to stand on what they know is their truth, stand on it, and live by it.
So, I mean, that's very important, definitely. But what would you say the community can do to do better, like today? What can they be involved with to make this cohesive for people to understand it a little better and hopefully evoke change?
That's a hard one, honestly, because some of the people in the community don't even know what they want or what they need. Let me put it that way, not what they want, because they know what they want, they just don't know what they need. So when we do surveys and stuff like that, some people don't even participate. And that's where the hard part comes in, that because you're trying to engage them to tell you, well, what do you need to make this a better situation, and some don't even engage. So you have to kind of like go off your personal experience, but your personal experience might not be the next person's experience. So it kind of like leaves a hole there. For the community to get to where we can better it, I think it's programs that has to come into that community that is from that community, not outside of that community, from that community. So that means to put more pressure on people like us, who's from the community, knows what kept us from doing the right thing, to bring those programs in to strive to keep them from doing the wrong thing, and to help them do the right thing. So yeah.
Like what are some of the government programs or businesses that you do receive help from?
None.
Wow. Okay.
None. The government. I was a part of a JDI initiative, the Juvenile Intervention Initiative, and they were all bigger organizations coming in from out of town, from other places coming in, and what I was starting to see happens a lot lately is that you have bigger organization that comes in and they get the funding that is for that general region, and then they leave. So all of the resources as far as finances is being taken out of that community when the finances is for that community. So that deals with our local politics. So we got to get to that point too, and which I know is coming, but we have to get to that point too. We have to see who's there really for us and these children, because a community is nothing without their children. So that's why I say I focus on the youth, because that is the community, so.
You just mentioned politicians.
I know it's coming.
Has there been a Tim Scott, Nancy Mace, Marvin Pendarvis, James Clyburn, has any of them reached out to you at any point? I mean, I see you all over social media. I see you doing all kind of stuff in the community. So if I see you, I know they seen you. Has any of them reached out to you?
No.
Haven't made an attempt.
No. That don't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. We only read about things like that. You know what I mean? Because it's a design. So we read about it when there's an issue. You understand? When there's an issue, then we'll read about it, we'll hear about it. But until then, no, the people that are on ground level, or as we say, boots on the ground, doing that frontline work, no, it ain't, to some of us, it ain't even about that. We don't care, because we know what we here to do in our mission. So it really don't care. If they did reach out to me, the mission would still be the same for me. Like, I'm going to do it with or without your help. That's my mission. So it can't be stopped. The only thing that can stop what I'm doing, brother, is for those behind me not to pick the torch up. And I think that's where brothers like Malcolm and Martin was saying back then that, it skipped some people, but some people caught it. So in my likeness, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to skip some people, but some people going to catch it. So it is what it is. So
see, the reason why I asked that question, because these same communities, we'll see them around election time. They'll come around and shake your hand with the cameraman, but they can't reach out when you're saving our children. See, that was my concern. You understand what I mean?
I'm with you totally. I understand 100%, and I'm in that kind of, ram. So I understand it perfectly. Yeah, I understand it.
I was shocked when I saw Tim Scott, when he was running for president, walking around in Liberty Heights. And we still got people like you that's in Liberty Heights all the time, saving the children in Liberty Heights. He should at some point, not just calling Tim Scott out, but some of these politicians need to be reaching out to people like you to see how can they help. These are the people that put them in office in the first place.
Right. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I also, on the flip side, see it that, when we do reach out to them, we have to have a strong foundation and backing too. Because that's what they see. Votes move things, right? So When you're looking at the motion of how you want something to move, you have to have the voters, you have to have the people behind you and what you're saying you want something done for. They got to be there too, saying, well, yeah, what he's saying is what we want. This how it needs to be done. Yeah, he's speaking kind of to you for us, so that's need to be taking place too. So I haven't been on that part of it. I haven't been out here, almost like what they say, lobbying. That's the proper term of it. Like lobbying. I haven't been out here doing that in the community for what we're striving to do for the children and the youth. I don't lobby for it. I just do it. So that's the difference. So if I was to reach out to them, that's the first thing kind of like going to be talked about. Okay, well, where you who and what and this and that and the third. Yeah, and I can show him what I'm doing for the youth, this and the third. So but I can't take him in certain areas and be like, okay, this person wants this, that, and the third. That's what that's what they're for. That's what they're gonna want to do. No, me, I'm just looking for a solution to try to solve that problem. And I can help wherever I can help. So that's the space I in, and that's the space I try to stay in.
I got you. I got you.
So what's next for you? What do you have or working on now?
So my program is Just Move Mentorship. So our next move and what we're striving to do now is secure a building to facilitate our programs, because yet and still we have no building to facilitate our program. We do take it into the juvenile detention center, but right now we are mostly based out of my home, and then what we do, we go to the participant's home, as we do home visits. Then we do in-school visits. So where we have participants that's getting in trouble in school, we go and talk to their counselors, the principals, everything. We do all that, but we don't have a physical building for us to facilitate our program. We have a 18-week curriculum, and we don't have a building to facilitate that curriculum. So now I'm trying to secure a spot down there in that building right next to Burke High School. Trying to get some whatever space that they can allow me to utilize. It's going to be free for participants, and whatever we need, we would do out of pocket. We just want to make sure that we can get this character building, this conflict resolution, and these basic life skills taught to our children in our community. The community that is next to that building I'm talking about is what we call Back to Green. It's Line Street and around Haygood. So it's a need. We see children around there fighting every day because they don't know how to, resonate or resolve their conflict. They don't know how to talk through their issues. So the program will be perfect for that. But I got to go through the formalities of signing MOUs and things of that nature, doing background checks and all this. So I understand the process. However, the process shouldn't be so long when it's something that's coming to help the community. The process is easy if I'm coming to do something that don't help the community. I can throw a block party right now, and I guarantee you it won't be that hard for me to throw that block party. But for me to bring a program to that community center, it's hard. I got to go through these jumps, these loops, and formalities to do that. That's the issue, my brother.
I'm going to ask, this is a two-part question. The first part, this election coming up in November, and all the communities that you're involved in. We know this is probably one of the biggest, craziest, most questionable elections possible. It's just my opinion, but none of these candidates deserve to be president of the United States of America. But I'm going to ask you your opinion. You're in the community way more than I am. Right. What do you think the thoughts are of the people in the community about this upcoming election?
Once again, I think the people don't even know or understand that. Most are just going by what the media is feeding them, and then where they sit around and talk about from what they hear in the media. Like, I'm with you on that. I don't think none of them serve the interests or the best interests of, our community. True. About that, I just don't see it. And if they want to, and even outside, just people of color, because you got them in there. You understand? We have Caucasians within our community. And they're feeling the burnt of it, even if they're not voicing it. They're feeling the burn of it because we have white participants in our program. And I'm watching them go through some of the same issues and problems and the same complaints. However, when it comes down to the issue of these candidates, most of them gonna go with the one they feel uh, is so-called better for the United States, and that's Trump at this point in time is what they think. However,
Hmm.
it's complicated, my bro, because for them to understand democracy, for them to understand communism, to understand all these things is complex. Nobody can get that in one little section, man. Like, so we're gonna be duped until we understand those things, the working mechanism of those things. That democracy really can't exist without capitalism. Capitalism can't exist without classism. So these things must be in place in order for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Paper-wise, it tells you something totally different. Pragmatically, how it works is something different. Communism, they tell you is bad. However, they don't pay for education. They don't pay for medication or medical period. They all are equal the same. A trash man can't make no more than a nurse. A nurse can't make no more than a trash man. So they even around the board. He got a car, you're gonna have a car. They got a house, you're gonna have a house. To me, that's the better system. However, to someone else, it might not be, because someone else might say, no, I want to be able to be a billionaire, a millionaire, this, that, and the third, just because you ain't doing what I'm doing to make that million, know what I mean? So you see the concept? So if I can feed someone on a passion of their own greed, they're going to go whatever they feel is going to work to feed that greed. And that's where we at. We still being duped within the greed. So, until we get a candidate that is going to be for our best interest as a whole, I don't got a candidate.
This is another question I got for you. This is going to be real controversial to some people.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I feel a lot of black people need to stop saying Black Lives Matter. The reason why I'm saying that, because we'll scream Black Lives Matter 1 minute. Then when Lil Tyrone killed Lil Jamal, we'll be screaming Free Lil Jamal.
Right.
I don't feel that no way possible Lil Tyrone's life is less than Trayvon Martin or George Floyd's. How do you feel about this thing with everybody screaming Black Lives Matter when something happens to black people from different races?
I agree with you 100%. Lil Tyrone life should be on a level of any man that lose their life, regardless of color. I don't care about the color thing. About any, when they scream Black Lives Matter, to me, the lives that matter to me is any innocent life that is taken. If you follow me, if that makes even sense to anybody, any life that taken is a life that matter. The life that is not taken even matters. So why are we even putting a term on life even mattering? So I want to stretch the whole thing about what life matter, how life matter. Just know that life matters. So that's where I'm at with that, bro. So I'm at life just mattering. Period. Like, when we gonna get back to that? When we gonna get back to And if we looked at all life matters and life do matter in all aspects of life, I think we'll start to see God.
That's exactly.
All right. I can hear your passion, definitely. At some point, I'm sure you're going to have to take a step back. Are you talking to anyone, or are you grooming anyone to be able to take the baton and run it up after you've retired?
Every young man I come in contact with, every last one of them. And I'm not just grooming one specific individual. Every last one of them. I speak to that. And I'm pretty sure if you ever run into any of our participants, they're going to tell you that. They're going to say, Mr. Curry always tell us that we are the future and that we're going to be future leaders and we're going to stand where he's at one day and have to tell somebody else what we've been through. So that's what I do. I don't think one person should be able to have to wear or tote that burden alone. No one man should have to ever tote that burden alone. because it's all our responsibility. So if we're not speaking to everybody to be able to take that, then we're doing ourselves an injustice.
Definitely.
Crown, we want to thank you, man,
Yeah.
for coming here today and talking to our people, talking to us, educating us on what's really going on in these communities. You're here with the kids all the time. And I think everybody who's listening, the whole audience, hey, y'all need to reach out to Crown. You're going to run into Crown somewhere. Crown, tell them, I know you got your music thing going on. When is your next show? Let these people know so we all can be out there to support you.
I do music. At this time, I haven't even dropped any music out. And the reason being is I like to listen to my music and see my change and mentality and things of that nature too. So I'm kind of like trying to filter out what's going the effect. Um, I have a responsibility to people that listen to my music. I have a responsibility to myself. So I'm listening to myself to see where's the effect is going to be in this greatest outcome of my music. So I haven't really dropped anything yet. I'm still composing, you know. And when I do drop it, I'm looking for it to have a positive effect, not a negative.
Again, Crown, we want to thank you here at JMO. Anything we can do to help your movement, let us know. We coming, car loads, whatever you need me to do. I've known you a long time. You know, we always been a phone call away from each other.
Of course.
So anytime you need me, give me a call.
Vice versa.
And I'm coming to you, babe. Thank you again.
Thank y'all. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank y'all for the opportunity. And y'all continue to be great, man. Continue to do what y'all doing. The messages need to be out. And I wish y'all nothing but great success. You know, continue doing what y'all doing. Man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Now this is time for my final remarks. Saving our communities. I'm very passionate about this thing. Anybody that really knows me, I was born in Harlem, New York. Shout out to Buggy, Jay Black, Buddha, Brian, Clarence, Jermaine, Taboo, whatever you are. Rest in peace, Mike, the old St. Nick crew. But Charleston, South Carolina made me. Without this city, I would not be the man I am today. So I'm very passionate about saving our communities. I grew up in low-income housing my whole entire life. But I want to challenge everybody to make something different happen. I want to challenge the people that were from that community, that's no longer in that community, help that community. I want to challenge the people in that community. I want you to do something different. I want you to think beyond yourself. I really want y'all to shop local. Go to the places, stop going to these big chain grocery stores. Stop going to these big retail stores. If you want meat, go to Murray's Meat Market. They're on Reynolds Avenue. Right. There's Legacy Meats now. Shop local. If you want some brand new fashion, instead of running the Tango outlet, go to Tracy Grant's shop, Black Oil and Fragrances. Go in fashion. Go those places. But the only way we can support our community is we invest in our community. I'm telling everybody we get caught up in this idea that we got to compete with everybody else. But we suffering here. Don't make no sense to drive a Mercedes if you live in the projects. It's kind of crazy to me. I'm not a big person when it comes to organized religion. Honestly, I don't believe in that. But if going to church brings you peace and positivity, go to church, take a friend, take another friend, everybody go. If that's going to make you a positive person, do that. I need y'all to do that. But I'm also challenging these pastors. I don't believe God said that you need that brand new Mercedes and your wife need that $2,000 purse while the people in the same neighborhood as your church starving. I don't believe God tell you that. I believe we can help everybody. I know these churches, we can do Toys for Tots on Christmas. I know we got enough money in the building fund. These barbers, you can go to Community Cuts, a local barbershop. Stop going to these retail barbers and these popping up in Walmart. Go to Smitty's Barbershop. But I'm challenging you businesses. You got to invest back in your people. Got to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can give free haircuts. If these people can put money in your shops, you can give back to the community. We got to do this thing. The only way we're going to survive is looking out for one another. These governments ain't helping us. This man, Tim Scott, ain't called him. Marvin Pendarvis ain't called him. James Clyburn ain't called him. Nancy Mace did not call him. But they will pop up in our communities when they need our vote. We got to change all that. Stop voting one party because my grandmother voted this party. Stop voting for these politicians just because they look like you. Change that whole concept. And don't tell yourself your vote don't matter. Because if your vote did not matter, they wouldn't spend all this time trying to restrict your right to vote. Your vote definitely does matter. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not a part of any political party, but I'm going to tell you this. I remember the 1994 crime bill that sent a lot of minorities into jail, and a lot of these politicians pop up with these private prisons. Now, see, I remember that. I remember these politicians and candidates that tried to crucify the Central Park Five. You know, I remember these same candidates that said these people that raided the Capitol were patriots and political hostages. You know, all I want you to think about, if the majority of these people were people of color, will we still be patriots? Will we still be political hostages? I'm telling everybody, you gotta think big. You gotta start doing something that's gonna change something. Until you got that mindset that I wanna be better than where I am, you're gonna keep being stuck. But I wanna thank all of you for joining us. And like I tell everybody, think big, love yourself. See you next episode.
I am down for taking the journey somewhere far away from all the struggle and this poverty war, to a land of the innocent, money making and militant, down for what the cause is. Watch how these bars fizz. My whole life I dreamed of success. I want the best. God show me how the system work. I put in the rest. I'll never fail you again on this odyssey. My apology stands until the day I'm insane. I got a plan and you a part of me. Can I be righteous in my resume? Hustles, what's been ailing me? Society's killing me. My partners ain't no help, they shooting. In this world full of thugs, when we get shot over drugs with no excuses. I want peace in my hood somehow. There's still G's in the hood who wild, like hyenas with Ninas. Why we letting petty shit come between us? Out here the cleanest, the meanest. They got their nose up, riding in Beamers. I am.